This is a rare, made in Canada, blanket-lined Carhartt denim jacket. One of my all-time favorites. These are Ralph Lauren pants. Very wide, very pleated, very corduroy. And what is this? It's a knit jacket made from silk and baby alpaca on a tiny Irish island with a population of 184 people, most of whom I assume made this piece. That is a vintage, almost perfect suede jacket. That's the Carhartt I talked about like 2 seconds ago. That is my first ever sports coat. It's a one-of-one, made in London, wool Bedford cloth, horn buttoned coat from my favorite brand. It doesn't fit me. That's my girlfriend Taylor. And this, you mere mortals, is the first ever product from the Iron Snail knitting division. Codename, Billy Goat. There's actually going to be 2 different sweaters in 5 different colors, but they're not all finished yet, so this is the only one I have. Welcome to 24 of my favorite thrifted fall essentials. Sorry, I am allergic to probably 23 of the thrifted fall essentials. This is going to be a 24-piece lightning round of a video, but it's a little different than normal this time because last week I said, I will see you next week. Very big announcement coming up, not related to this channel, related to my personal life. And now, hello everyone, it's Michael. Remember last video when I said I had news? A lot of you thought it was going to be that I'm proposing to Taylor. There will be a 12-part series on suit jackets and the best wool to use for pants when that time comes. In the meantime, we're leaving New York, Taylor and I, today, well tomorrow, but this is my last day in New York, and I love New York, so I don't particularly know how I feel about it. I thought it would be fun if you and I went on a walk on all my favorite trails and paths in the woods and stuff like that I will no longer be going to. Either way though, you're probably wondering, where the heck are we moving? Here. We're moving to, these used to say Maine on the back of them, that would have worked but much better. We're moving to Portland, Maine. First place on our list is the Oyster Zone. This is not the Oyster Zone, we have to walk there. We're going to 3 different locations, then I have to get home and help Taylor move or she'll kill me. When I first showed this to Taylor, she thought I was joking. I'm not joking. I think I could make a shearling vest work. Maybe if this was, the rise of my pants was a little higher, this was a little lighter, nice gray sweatshirt or something. I got this for 20, 30 bucks. It's a Fieldmaster brand. This is suede with probably a polyester lining on the inside. So it's not real shearling, sadly. I do need to get a real shearling piece. Maybe Taylor thought it was a costume because I showed it to her while I was wearing a Western shirt and just it was in my underwear. While we're on the general subject of vests, I got this pretty sweet one from Norsewear, which is a company that still exists. It's a New Zealand company, 100% Shetland wool. It's actually, very rarely do I get a piece on eBay that exceeds my expectations beyond my expectations. It doesn't look like a huge brand, but Norsewear still exists, and they make a really cool quarter zip that I would love to buy. The reason I'm into vests is because you know, when you're moving, you kind of remap your life. You're like, oh, I'm gonna become a marathon runner now that I live in Portland, Maine. I would like to buy a bike and bike around, and I picture myself riding a bike in Maine with a vest on. And then, you know, slowly we'll add the arms on, but not make it a full sweater or something like that. I got a cardigan, and I thought the brand was Thunderbird, but it turns out the brand is Columbia. Early Columbia, this is probably from the 1960s. It's a little itchy, but still beautiful. The coolest part is that's Columbia. The Columbia now is so different. They started off as a hat company, then they made knitwear with cotton and wool, and now they literally have insulation from their company being used by NASA. This next sweater is from a brand called Lido from California. I don't believe they exist anymore. It's a vintage ski sweater. The sweater is not the softest at all. It's actually a little rough. You're probably gonna want a base layer with it, but the yarns feel absolutely beautiful. If it was on the rack today, I would assume it would be $300 to $400, if not more, because of how nice it feels. Then we get to our first bummer of the day. This beautiful Gap sweatshirt, collar. I really want a collared cardigan or collared sweater, but it's very small. It kind of fits Taylor. She looks very cute in it, so that's a bonus.
I'm just saying, like,
it's a little broad in the chest.
It's meant for like a big-chested man.
Yeah, it does look a little.
It's like a.
You look a
cute little Maine girl now. Okay. Moving on. This piece I was a little disappointed by, not because of the quality of it. The quality of it's beautiful, but because I didn't know it was a spring-summer thing. I really like autumn, fall, winter things, but you know, thicker, beefier wool things. But it is from the most remote knitting brand in the world, according to Mr. Porter. I was gonna do the name reveal on the top of this tree. The brand is Meáin, which is a small Ireland island with a population of like 186 people or something like that. I don't know the current population, someone may have died. And they make some of the most beautiful, incredibly expensive knitwear that I've ever seen in my life. So I'll probably never wear this piece. I'll probably sell it, put it on eBay. It's too slouchy, makes me feel very old when I wear it, like an old, tired man. So if any of you are old, tired men that are size small, let me know. I'll send this to you.
This video is sponsored by Vaer watches. Hello watch nerds and lovers, this is a GMT watch, a watch that can tell 3 different time zones at the exact same time.
Here is how. This is a quartz-powered 39mm Vaer G2 Meridian, water-resistant up to 500 meters and assembled in the USA. I'm assuming everybody here knows how to tell time, but you might not know what that red hour hand is. It can tell us 24-hour time with no changes, but if we rotate our bezel 3 hours back from Eastern Standard Time, we get San Francisco time. Now you'll see the hour hand tells us our local time, and the red GMT hand tells us San Francisco time in the 24-hour format. Michael, that is so crazy. But also, we can do 3 time zones. Simply set the GMT hand to GMT time, the hour hand to your time, and rotate the bezel so the GMT hand points to the 3rd time zone's time. San Francisco for this example. So now if we look at the hour hand, it's our local time. If we look at what the GMT hand is pointing to on the bezel, that's our 2nd time zone. And the GMT hand itself, if we pretend that the bezel wasn't rotated, points to GMT time at the same time. Thank you very much to Vaer for sponsoring this video in my very echoey apartment. You can check out the G2 Meridian and its fancier brother down below.
Finally, the piece de résistance, my own knitwear piece, the first ever piece from the Iron Snail knitting division. Let me introduce you formally to the billy goat. Well, there will be 2 billy goats this year. This is the only one that's finished right now. The main thinking behind the construction of the billy goat was to maximize durability while keeping softness. There is a certain level where most people don't need something to be even softer, because if it is even softer, it's more delicate. And we now have very, very soft wools. Merino's an incredible example, but what if you had something that was imperceptibly coarser than merino, that would last you longer, would hold its shape better, would be a little springier? So the billy goat is made from 100% Targhee sheep's wool. You're probably asking, what is Targhee sheep? In the 1930s, in Idaho, the Targhee sheep was developed to be a dual purpose breed. So you could eat it or you could use its wool. But what's very cool about the Targhee sheep is that it's kind of the greatest hits of all of the sheep. So it has Rambouillet in its blood, which is why it has a very soft, fine wool, but it also has Lincoln and Corriedale. So all that is to say, the fiber, the wool fiber, is long and thicker than merino, and longer and thicker means more durable. But also, since it has that Rambouillet in there, it's very soft, it's very springy, and you can wear it next to skin, to the point where when I was talking to the spinners that I'm working with, also in Wyoming, they said that they have to size the sweaters they make differently if they're using merino versus what they're using Rambouillet, because of the stretch factor that merino has, when Rambouillet just doesn't. It snaps back to shape much easier. First location down. Goodbye, Oyster Zone. Very nice to film inside of you. While we're making our way to the spot in the woods, I figured we can pour some out for the homies. 2 pieces that sadly I really wanted to add to the collection, but they're totally gone forever. This amazing SEH Kelly Balcamaan, I think that's how you say it. I wanted that so bad. Found it for a good price online, and the seller's being really nice, but he keeps updating me, being like, hey man, looks, USPS hasn't updated this in 20 days. And I'm like, it's gone, dude, it's gone. Quick edit, it landed in Brooklyn, but I still don't have it, so I will send it to you personally in the wintertime so you can check it out. I love their stuff. SEH Kelly is unbelievable, which is also why I tried to snag this really beautiful wool Bedford cord SEH Kelly, one of one, I think they call it the SB Jacket, but a sports coat. It's coming from Germany, so maybe it will come. Another edit. It did obviously come, and it's beautiful, but doesn't fit me, so Taylor graciously said she would model it for us. No, I think, oh, that's mine. Hands out of pockets by your side. Pretend you know what I do in videos? Stop, put that away, that's mine. I think it looks great on you.
Yeah, it fits me really well.
Oh no, they've removed my favorite stump. Every time I'd come here, I'd sit on the stump. At least I think it was right here. It's definitely not that. There's no way, right? The eBay says 1940s, 1950s. I think it's 1950s, 1960s field coat, which is unbelievable. Although the fit's like a little weird. It's a little too wide, but not long enough in the arm, so it has this kind of like splayed out thing that, and the collar is, they were clearly very worried that the jacket collar was gonna be too stiff with the layer of canvas and corduroy, so they used a very light layer of canvas, but it's too light. Speaking of old canvas, we got some pants in the lineup, which all you little trendy boys and girls are gonna love because they're pleated, super wide, I love them. Ralph Lauren Andrew pants, double pleated. I watched a documentary on Ralph Lauren a few nights ago. I actually fell asleep in the middle of it, not because it was bad, I was just a little sleep deprived. But these pants are awesome. Admittedly, I did think I was buying khakis. Those are clearly gray pants, and the description does say gray, so totally my fault. BRUT is a really great brand. I talked about them last video, and the sweatshirt that I talked about is what I'm talking about now.
It's just a really great color. Taylor and I watch 90s TV shows basically every night before we go to bed. This makes me feel like I'm living in the 90s, like a comfy, cozy, kind of loud color that's still nice. But the real sweatshirt killer brand, which we will probably do on part 2 of sweatshirts, is of course Lady White. I bought this sweatshirt for the last video, but I didn't include it because of time and it didn't make the list and everything like that, which you all voted for, by the way. You talked to me like I didn't include your favorite sweatshirt. You didn't vote enough. Lady White's 1944 sweatshirt, unbelievable. Honestly, I think if Lady White had their way, they would leave a little mint on your pillow after you bought something from them. The Tailor Stitch Division shirt in Birch. It has burnt Corozzo nut buttons, which is why it's a little darker brown on the outside. Beautiful texture, goes with this outfit that I wore out recently with Taylor to an improv comedy show, UCB. Then, maybe very surprisingly, well, we actually have 2 pieces from Filson. Filson has been undergoing a lot of changes recently. Go on the Filson subreddit if you'd like to read about it more. I have Filson's wool work jacket and their short line tin cloth cruiser. They're both amazing pieces, absolutely outstanding quality. The tough part about Filson though is the way that they're doing business now. They crank prices up a lot so that way they can put them on sale and you're like, oh my gosh, which I did. I bought this duffel bag the first time they did a sale because I couldn't believe that the sale was so good. They got me, but what makes it harder to recommend Filson is that their sale price should be around where they should be selling their pieces at, not the retail price, so you have to get them on sale, but even then they're kind of expensive. So if you really like Filson, they have an amazing history and their stuff still is very high quality, but the whole like, is it a deal thing? They're not the strongest in that suit. Really gotta pick up the pace because we gotta get to one more location, but goodbye, location number 2. I'm sorry that I did not have a name for you. It was a pleasure to film in you for the past few years. We have less than an hour. We have to go to the water and we have to go to my absolute favorite place, but this is location 3. Let's get going. This is the more I film, or the closer I get to finish filming, the more I realize that I'm gonna go home, get a U-Haul and leave. I am one who always thinks they have much more time than they do have, and then I end up scrambling and realizing that it's over. When I thought I had more time, it already was over. We're gonna hit the denim world for a second, if you don't mind. Levi 501s, made in USA, vintage 90s. I kinda got these as a holdover pair, a light wash pair. I, of course, have my own jeans, but I had to send all of mine to the manufacturer so they could use them as a sample for production, which should be coming out very, very soon, by the way, to everybody that bought one. Thank you. Ralph Lauren denim jacket. I talked about this last year, but one of the best colder weather denim jackets ever. Awesome fit, cool corduroy collar, cool lining. Really liking Ralph Lauren lately. I watched a documentary on him, but I fell asleep. The Prologue jacket is getting a friend this coming year, or maybe even 2. I have been feverishly looking on vintage sites, vintage Instagrams and everything to find interesting denim jackets, see what people are doing that was really spicy. Upon doing that, I found Tough Nut, which is this jacket. Really, really cool jacket. Clearly modified type 2, which is very cool. No hand warmer pockets, cotton threads that are kind of busting out. It has holes everywhere. The construction on the back is totally weird. I would never reference that construction. I think it looks very bad. On the topic of overshirts, we have a total miss and then a total win. The total miss is vintage Boy Scouts red overshirt. 85% wool, 15% nylon, classic. The Real McCoy's does one that's absolutely stunning, but it's like $350 or something. This I paid 40 bucks for. In the win category though, Imogen and Willie is making a sawtooth, they may have done this before, but a sawtooth denim shirt. The best overshirt that I've ever worn in my entire life. And then they came out with the red and green flannels in the same cut. I would buy those too if I wasn't spending $1 trillion on this move. This might be my 2nd or 3rd favorite Stormline denim jacket. I have a Lee Stormrider, which I guess technically made the list because I just mentioned it, but it's a little too long. I don't really like the fit of it. I need to get another one that fits me a little bit better. But I also have this made in Canada Carhartt denim jacket with unbranded buttons. I thought it was fake. I don't know what year it's from. Carhartt licensed their name out apparently during the Great Depression, and it took them a long time to get all of those licenses back. Either way, this jacket just, it's a little too short. It's 22 inch long, 21 inches long, so you gotta wear it with really high-waisted pants if you're gonna wear it, but something about it is just really perfect. We have exactly 30 minutes before I need to leave.
Yeah, well, let me know what the plan is with the storage unit. Yeah. Okay, love you, bye.
I'm going to my last favorite spot in the woods, and then I'll be home. I'll go get the U-Haul. We're pretty much out of time. I don't have a lot of time, but this is it. This is, the best place in New Jersey, at least my favorite place. I always wanted to take Taylor here after work one day and just sit, have a picnic. Luckily, while filming this video, I realized that all the favorite places I had to check off the box before I left New York and New Jersey we're in the woods, and we're very inconvenient for me to get to because I live in New York City. So that made me a lot more excited about Maine. Very excited to go there. Either way, that's not why we're here. What's the final piece, Mikey boy? The final piece is this, should I just stand? Is this suede jacket I got from Grailed. Nice and old, made by Mountain Goat Company in Canada. I had a few other suede pieces over the years that were made in Canada, and everything that's coming out of there that's lined with something has been really exceptional. But either way, that's it. That's the end of New York and New Jersey, as we all know it, because I'm leaving. I actually have 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna sit here for 5 minutes, then I'm gonna go. You know what, actually, I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to go. Great. Goodbye, old apartment. Goodbye, Taylor.